Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Um, Plasticity is an interesting thing. I had my first stroke 7+ years ago. Could not read, write, or speak well, but I did get better. And this is really the interesting thing to all of this is that you can get better, even though you had that stroke and had lost all those cells. But I didn't know how I got better. Um, I kept a diary, as you might have heard. I kept a 500-page diary. I recorded my voice every day for 2 years. I took pictures, hundreds of pictures of the world around me. Each one of those activities on a day-to-day basis turned out to be the reason I got better. These activities, the full word of plasticity is experience-dependent neuroplasticity. The experience-dependent component of that is what does help you get better. It is the action that allows you to get better. When we were young, we had learned about photosynthesis in 3rd grade when we understood that sunlight is converted by the sun into sugars through the process of photosynthesis with our green leaves. That is how it works. It turns out that plasticity converts thought and doing into brain matter. That's the way it works. It is just like the cousin of photosynthesis. The interesting thing is that very few people know much about plasticity. I think that all 3rd graders should be taught about photosynthesis, converting sunlight, and plasticity, converting thought and activity into brain matter. That is how we learn. We induce plasticity based on these activities, and as a result, we'll grow more dendrites and synapses so that we can learn. You can't just learn without anything. You learn based on these additional components of your brain that do grow, and you will learn as a result. And that is what happened with me. Of course, all that time, through the 11 months in the first stage of improvement, I didn't know that what I was doing was therapeutic, which is also interesting because no therapist tells me, hey, Tom, you should do these things because you're going to get better based on this thing called plasticity. That doesn't seem to happen either. I would like the speech therapist to actually tell us, inform us as early as we're able to actually hear what's been said, that all of these activities, whether it's with your therapist or when you go home around your block in your neighborhood, that all of those activities will induce additional plasticity, and as a result, learn as a result. Given that the 1 hour a week you have with your therapist, you have another 39 hours when you go home that you can do any number of additional things that will continue to induce plasticity. But you have to understand how it works. But there is no magic to it, for sure. When we first learned how to speak, we learned it in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. Nobody told us. There was no instruction. We absorb the information based on the way our brains actually work. It absorbs all of those sounds. Our brain takes that sound and converts it into what becomes our language based on the words we're hearing around us. That's how it works the first time. You learned it all. You don't know how it happens. It absorbs the information. Now that you are older, and yes, you have had a stroke, or you're just perfectly healthy and you just want to learn something new, the only thing you have to do is be motivated and practice on whatever it is you have to work on. And people do think that practice is sort of this magic to it all, which I guess you could call it that, but there's no magic about it. You have to be motivated enough to actually do the things you would like to do, whether you're learning something new or doing something new. That is how plasticity works. So there's a big difference. There is a big difference between when you learn language the first time and what you have to do now. But that is how plasticity works. I know, such an interesting thing, and we have to learn more about it. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Take care. Bye.